Well, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Redeemer News. This time, I'd like to talk a little bit about a Bible passage that I was reading, and you'll hear as an Old Testament reading. It's Isaiah 60, verse 1, and it's often used in regard to Epiphany, actually, but in general, in terms of a prophecy that the Messiah is coming. And so it goes like this: Arise, shine, for your light has come. The glory of the Lord has risen upon you. And certainly we, and at this point in time, look at as Jesus being the glory of the Lord that's risen upon us. But let me tell you a little bit about it, because there's a lot of meaning packed into this verse and to the little phrase, the glory of the Lord. So have you heard that before somewhere? How about, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid? Now, probably that rings a bell in your mind, and you think of Luke's nativity story in chapter 2, verse 9. And I'm reading from the King James Version because that's the one that at least us older people remember. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, meaning the shepherds in the field, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid, unquote. But there's other instances where the same phrase is used to indicate that God is active through the pre-incarnate Jesus Christ in the Old Testament. So I refer you to Exodus chapter 16, verses 7 and 10. And Moses and Aaron said to the people, In the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your grumbling against the Lord. And as soon as Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the people of Israel, they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And if you remember, how were the people of Israel led through the wilderness? And there was a pillar of smoke or a cloud that led them by day, and a pillar of fire by night. And a lot of Old Testament theologians will tell you that that was Jesus leading his people through the wilderness. Again, in Exodus 40, verses 34 and 35, it says, Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter the tent of the meeting because the cloud settled on it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And here again, you see God working in an active way, doing something radically different, not just speaking his word to his prophets, but there was a manifestation of God himself in the tabernacle, not uncommon in the tabernacle. Hold on to that thought. And here's Isaiah 40, verses 4 and 5. Every valley shall be lifted up, and every mountain and hill be made low, and uneven ground shall become level, and the rough places a plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. When we think of that, every valley being lifted up, and the hills being made low, and a way being made smooth, we think of John the Baptist preparing the way of the Lord and the coming of Jesus Christ. So once again, it's connected with that same idea. And then Luke chapter 9, verses 29 to 32. And as Jesus was praying, the appearance of his face was altered, and his clothing became dazzling white. And behold, two men were talking with him, Moses and Elijah, who appeared in glory and spoke of his departure, which he was about to accomplish at Jerusalem. Now Peter and those who were with him were heavy with sleep, but when they became fully awake, they saw his glory and the two men who stood with him. The glory of the Lord was there in the transfiguration again, and this was Jesus Christ, but not Jesus Christ as just the man, okay? Not that he wasn't God at the same time, but people regarded him as a man, and that's why they had trouble also accepting him as the Son of God. But in his glory on the Mount of Transfiguration, they saw him in reality as God himself too. So Over and over again, we see in the Bible that the glory of the Lord is connected, that phrase, with God's activity on behalf of his people, filling the tabernacle, leading his people through the wilderness, etc. It indicates, when we hear that phrase, that God is going to act directly in some manner, and invariably it pertains to his plan of salvation from our sin, which is ultimately fulfilled in Jesus Christ. Therefore, it can be appropriately connected with Christ's revelation to the Gentiles and Epiphany, which we just celebrated yesterday. And it's a season, so we'll continue celebrating that, reading about it, singing about it, how Jesus Christ, God, revealed himself to us. So on that thought, be paying attention to that in the coming weeks, and may the glory of the Lord shine upon you this Epiphany and always. In word and sacrament. Amen.